Because what happens in a situation like this is that people always want to look for a conspiracy, or they want to look for some, you know, it was about oil, or it was to do with
من زمان تعال ضمني قلب الغرام كلمني أحلى الكلام.
I got numerous individuals on the road. You want me to take those out? Take them out. 10 seconds. Roger.
Amen, 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 amen. Amen, 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 amen.
Impact.
Amen, 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 amen.
Oh, dude.
When it came to fighting for peace, the deal that was struck in Northern Ireland won him plaudits worldwide. Personally involved, Tony Blair brokered the agreement that had eluded a generation of other politicians. But for many people, Tony Blair will be remembered, defined by the Iraq War. Many turned against him forever because of it. After successfully intervening in Kosovo and later Sierra Leone, he announced a new principle. It was acceptable to bring down despotic regimes even if they weren't an immediate threat. He formed a deep partnership with George W. Bush following the 9/11 attacks that changed the world. He went to war in Iraq, saying Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction, although by then he didn't. The controversy over the intelligence reports, post-war planning and the legal basis of the war have continued unabated. He now says he thinks about the dead in Iraq and Afghanistan every day of his life. It was, he says, more bloody, more awful, more terrifying than anyone could have imagined.
I see my people when they cry, cry, cry. Amen, amen, amen. Amen.
We did find was a high level of uranium. We did find a high level of uranium.
And that high level of uranium, was it from depleted uranium?
Well, no, this was what was surprising. It was not from depleted uranium. It was actually slightly enriched uranium, which was fairly astonishing. As far as it was not something that we really expected, and it led us to believe that the modern military systems use a whole new set of weapons which contain or produce enriched uranium. For various reasons which we're not entirely sure about.
Okay, just briefly explain the difference between enriched uranium and depleted uranium, just briefly.
Yes, yes. When uranium is mined, then it's refined in such a way that that one of the isotopes, U-235, which is used in nuclear power stations and in atom bombs, is separated from the rest of the uranium, and the rest of the uranium, which doesn't contain so much U-235, is called depleted uranium, and is a sort of waste product. The other sort is the sort that's used in atom bombs and in nuclear power stations, and this is the sort that we found in the environment of Fallujah, in the soil, in the water, and also in the hair of these parents of the children with congenital anomalies, and we believe this is the cause of the cancer increases in the congenital anomalies and the other genetic effects that we found in the earlier study.
I go many places, I go business places, I see all the bad things, then they do, call corruption, then they call nepotism, inside the promotions, and inside all these things.
And during we had this big war thing happen. I don't know if you caught any of that, but so first of all, this needs to be said. There never was a war. How can you say that, Bill? Well, a war is when two armies are fighting. So you see, right there, I think we can all agree it wasn't exactly a war. And Bush, President Bush, complete surprise, he turned into a demon man. And everyone got excited about the technology. And I guess it was pretty incredible watching a missile fly down an air vent. Pretty unbelievable. But couldn't we feasibly use that same technology to shoot food at hungry people? The stealth banana. Smart fruit. They kept talking about the elite Republican Guard in these hushed tones. Remember that? Like they had the bogeyman, you know? Yeah, we're doing well, but we have yet to face the elite Republican Guard. Not nearly as elite as we may have led you to believe. And after another month of continuous bombing and not one reaction at all, they went from the elite Republican Guard to the Republican Guard to the Republicans made this shit up about there being guards out there. We hope you enjoyed your fireworks show.
Tell me about Gerry Adams and Martin McGuinness to start with, because these were people still seen by many as cold-blooded killers who shouldn't be inside any political process. You came quite to admire, even like them.
I did in the end, yes. And I think they were big politicians in anyone's language, if you like. I think they would have done well in any set of political circumstances. And I remember the very first meeting that we had, and when in Downing Street, when they came into the room in Downing Street and they were saying, well, this is where Michael Collins had sat with Lloyd George, and then Mo Mowlam, who was there at the time, sort of broke up this rather reflective conversation by saying, yes, and that's the window that you fire the rockets in at John Major's government.
You pushed the truth beyond the breaking point.
Occasionally it was stretched pretty far, yeah.
So you can topple tyrants because they're tyrants, not because they immediately threaten other people.
In very limited circumstances, though. I mean, I don't, I don't think. Look, take Mugabe, which is a thing people often say. I mean, is that someone who would be good if he went in power anymore? Absolutely. Can you start engaging in military action to topple him? No.
The suspicion which remains today that you wanted to overthrow Saddam Hussein above all because he was a bad man, and that the weapons of mass destruction you knew, there was patchy evidence, you knew they may be there, you thought they might be there, but actually it was an excuse for something else.
Yeah.
2 British soldiers have been arrested by the Iraqi authorities in Basra tonight after apparently firing at police. Angry scenes erupted as crowds, hurling rocks and petrol bombs, attacked a British armoured personnel carrier. One soldier was engulfed by flames as he escaped. The Ministry of Defence said it was trying to get access to the 2 servicemen, but refused to confirm reports that they were Special Forces personnel working undercover. 2 Iraqis were killed in the violence, which happened in the southern province of Basra. The O'Halloran's report contains pictures viewers may find distressing.
This violence was sparked by an incident involving this white car. Iraqi police say the car contained weapons and explosives and was driven by 2 undercover British servicemen dressed as Arabs. Iraqi police have issued these pictures of the men. The MOD's asked us not to identify them. They're accused of killing 1 Iraqi policeman and wounding another.
Iraqi state TV filmed the 2 Special Forces soldiers. The British authorities requested that we obscure their faces. This was their disguise, dark wigs and Arab headscarves.
I'm delighted that the 2 British soldiers are back with British forces and are in good health.
It remains one of the most dangerous places in the world, but Iraq also has some of the richest resources on earth. And as security improves, so too has the opportunity for international investment. In the north, the Kurdistan regional government has signed at least 30 oil contracts with companies to start developing their field. Moving south, the country's key port of Qasr is back in business after Iraqi troops defeated militia groups there. And in nearby Basra, Shell has signed a $4 billion deal to process gas there. Al Jazeera's Nicole Johnston spoke exclusively to Shell's vice president for new business development in the Middle East and started by asking him why their contract wasn't open to other companies.
We have heard that 500,000 children have died. I mean, that's more children than died in Hiroshima. And you know, is the price worth it?
I think this is a very hard choice, but we think the price is worth it.
Schitterende dag, de zon schijnt, fantastisch.
Heb je lang gemist?
Nou ja, ik was wel druk, alleen niet in de media. Maar aardig dat u het zegt.
Wat heeft u gedaan in de afgelopen maanden?
Nou, dat is een hele drukke tijd. Ik ben vaak in het buitenland geweest, bij conferenties, inleidingen gehouden. Ik was in eigen land ook in Curaçao, in Parijs, Londen. Ik was in Budapest, de volgende week ga ik naar Singapore de hele week. Ik heb inleidingen gehouden, bedrijven geopend, dus het was een mooie tijd. En
goed voor de KLM-miles, als ik het zo
ja, die krijg ik alleen niet, maar ja, de vliegen is gewoon een leuk iets, zoals ik zo.
De rest van de tijd verdoet u nu een beetje bij Ernst Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young?
Verdoet u? Dit interview
nee,
gaat niet de goede kant uit.